Hey everyone, good morning. It's Allison Sullivan with Stamp Crazy with Allison. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in New Westminster, British Columbia in Canada. So welcome if you're joining me today. I just want to make sure that I'm broadcasting okay, which means I just have to check a couple of places to see if I am on where I ought to be. I look like I'm on there. And then I'm just going to go rolling over to my iPad and make sure that my sound is on. So let me just find out if that's happening. Okay. Yep, I'm good. Hi, Roseanne. Good morning. Good morning. Okay. We have people on. We have Roseanne. Good morning, Roseanne. Good morning, Gail. How are you? Nice to see you this morning. I guess it would help if I had my face to say good morning. We'll just wait for a couple of people. I was a minute late there. Sorry about that. But I have a cute card today, so I hope you're excited to see a cute card. Good morning, Kathy. Good morning, Wanda. How are you guys this morning? It's sunny in Oh, you're so lucky. It's sunny in Saskatchewan today, Gail, because it is not here. I'm looking outside. It's actually getting quite grim here. Hi, Mern. Hi, Donna. It is raining here, and it looks like it's going to rain all week, and it's just been raining. It's kind of getting depressing. Welcome, Donna. Oh, I'm so glad you found me. Thanks for coming. Well, I wanted to tell you guys something before we start. We're just waiting for people to pop on. Where are you, Wanda, that it's sunny and beautiful? It's raining on the island. Yeah, it's terrible on the High River, Alberta. Oh, see? Alberta and Saskatchewan. It's a little cool. I wouldn't mind cool with sunny. That's fine. It's cool and raining. Just feels like this is not a heavy sweater, but I have a sweater on in my studio. Coldwater, Ontario. See, now cold water should be cold, right? But we've got cold water here. No pun intended, Wanda. Well, welcome everybody. So this weekend I was supposed to be on a Caribbean cruise this week, but with an incentive trip with Stampin' Up. But for the last 3 years, because of COVID and other things, we haven't been able to take our incentive trips that we've earned. And so Stampin' Up does a virtual one and sends us lovely gifts and gives us money instead of the incentive trips. So that's good. And I'm supposed to have a disclaimer that only 1% of the company earn the incentive trip. It's just so, I think there was 436 demonstrators that earned it this year, and there's just over 50,000 demonstrators worldwide. So that's fun. Anyway, our gifts. So I got this beautiful robe. I should have worn my robe today. But we also got these lovely, over here, mugs. Can you see that? So they're really heavy. They hold a lot. And then they're, logoed. You have to go backwards when you're doing this, you guys. It's not easy. Stampin' Up. I could never be one of those weather people who stands in front of the green screen or whatever. Okay, so we got 2 of these, which was lovely. We got a beautiful robe, beautiful spa quality robe. We got a beautiful candle, quite a large candle, lovely. And then we got something really cool. Oops, I'm gonna bring it over. Here we go. Gotta go the opposite then, I think. We got this branded. Here we are. iPods? Yeah. I have lots of Apple stuff. I have an Apple Watch. I have an Apple computer. I have an Apple laptop. I have an iPad. I have an iPhone. I've never had iPods. And these are fantastic. These are the fancy ones. They're all nice. Isn't that cool? So that was our gifts. And then we're spending some time this week being entertained and celebrated online. So that's fun. Hi, Cookie. Hi, Jeanette. Okay. Hi, Elizabeth. Good afternoon. Oh, I'm so glad you got to watch me live. how did the virtual go? Kathy, it was really fun. It's fun because, I mean, we're not all together. And it was kind of a platform where we couldn't interact other than through a chat, like we're doing now, right? But on Wednesday, we have a platform where we can see each other and share and chat. So that'll be fun. All right, so that's you up to date on what's gone on with me this week, and hope you've all been keeping well. So let's get started. Let's check out what we're going to be working on today. We have got our beautiful annual catalog that's only been live. Wow, what's the date today, you guys? Oh my gosh, I have to look at my calendar. The 15th. So it's really only been live 12 days, and we've had lots of fun playing with stuff. So I'm just going to remind you guys again that for those of you who are new and don't know, oops, so glad that looks like a little bookmark there. On June the 4th, my partner for my virtual classes, Ange McKay and I, will be having a catalog launch party, and they're always super fun. And we're going to be focusing on the Sunprint Suite, which is gorgeous. Okay, beautiful. June the 4th. What do you get in your class? You get 6 cards. So you're going to get a kit mailed to you with 6 cards. You're going to get a PDF that shows you how to make the cards. You're going to be invited to an exclusive Facebook group, and we're going to make the cards together on June the 4th, starting at 10 a.m. Pacific time. If you can't come live, that's okay. They'll be recorded for you, so you won't miss anything. And you're also going to get some product in the mail. Let me show you what you're going to get. I'm going to move that for a sec. So you're going to get the designer series paper. You're going to get half a pack. Now this is just a quarter of a pack, so you're going to get twice as much as what I'm showing you. Okay, so here we go. Here's all the beautiful colors. Beautiful. I always think the DSP is like the star of the suites, at least for me. I tend to be a person who looks at the embellishments, and then I kind of look at the stamps after that. Hi, Jennifer. Nice to see you. Okay. All right, we've got that. So you get half a pack of that. You get a full roll, like a full roll, 10 yards of the gray granite ribbon. I think it's 3/8 of an inch. Let's see here. 1/4 inch, even better. So really pretty. It's got a shimmer to it. Probably can't see it on camera, but it's really cool. And then we've got the pearls, basic gems here, the jewels. You're going to get a whole package of that. So you're going to get all of this plus the kit, the card kit. Okay. Now, if you add on, we're going to send you a gift. So if you add on the Nature's Print stamps and dies, we're going to send you a full package of the designer series paper. So that's nice. So the other parts of the suite, we've got the stamps, we've got the dies. I love dies, don't you? When we're going to use them today, but when you can stamp something and then have an outline image that you can cut them out. I love this wreath. We've got 2 of the 6 cards that's using the wreath, and it really is gorgeous. And we've got some tips on that. And then the other product is the Fern 3D embossing folder. Isn't that great? We're going to be using that in our cards too. Okay, so that's the catalog launch party. Now, the other day, we made this card in our live. Do you guys remember when we made this card? And I forgot to show you something. So on this card, just as a reminder, this was the emboss resist technique. So you emboss with white or clear, whatever you prefer, or black, I suppose, on a piece. I used a piece of basic white. And then I took my blending brush and the Starry Sky ink, and I went over it. And then I went over with a paper towel and just buffed up the images so they pop. So that's called emboss resist. But what I didn't show you was some other ways that you can do that. Now, let me just, so this was on basic white. Here it is done on the actual Starry Sky. So no emboss resist on this one, just embossed, and then you'd continue on with your elements. So both are nice. And then finally, this one here was created with, this piece was created with the craft white ink. So you get a little bit of a different look. It's a lot more subtle. And again, this would just replace this layer and you would continue on making this card. So those are just some other ways that you can do the same card just with a different technique. Okay, so just wanted to get that cleared up before we went forward with today. The other things I wanted to tell you is, for the first time, let me just bring this over. The first time ever, Ange McKay and I are also offering a add-on class. So 2 add-on classes. The first one is the Adorable Elephant Parade. Very, very sweet. Ange created 4 cards with this. And the class is $40, but it comes with the actual stamp set. So it's really like getting the class for free, because by the time you add taxes and shipping, this is close to $40. So, and again, we're going to be creating the cards together. This one will be on June the 5th. And again, if you can't come live, that's okay. You can join us later. So that's an add-on. And then the add-on number 2 class, you can take one or both, is the Happiness Abounds stamp set. And again, it's $40 for the class, and I've created 4 cards using the stamps. If you add on the dies for either of these classes, we're giving you a really good deal. I used the word skookum the other day, and some people were like, what is skookum? Does everyone else know what skookum means? It's like super good. Hi, Donna. Are you in Canada? If you're in Canada, yes, you're spelling your word catalog correctly. So I'm thinking you're in Canada. I will be happy to send you one in the mail. So I'll connect with you after this live, and you can give me your address, okay? Cookie, is this a whole kit? Can you elaborate on that, Cookie, what you mean by a whole kit, just so I know what you mean? Good morning, Janet. Oh my gosh, Donna, I'm in New Westminster too. Well, that's easy. I can get you a catalog, real simple. Okay. Did I miss anything else when I was blethering on, as my mother would say? Does anyone else use that term, blether? Okay, so that's the upcoming classes. Yay. And just another quick reminder that when you purchase anything from me in the month of May, you will get a free PDF with 6 cards instructions. And this month it's Flowering Fields. I do these with my border buddy, Patsy Wagner. Patsy is in Minnesota in the United States, and we've been giving free classes away for almost 10 years now, I think. And so if you live in the United States and you order through Patsy's store, you will also receive this free. So her blog is stamps2diefor.com. Okay, so that's my shout out to my partner who does beautiful cards for our PDF. Well, let's get started. Let's start stamping. So today I am going to be using the Nature's Print with the dies. Okay, and I'm not using any of the Designer Series paper, shockingly, but I am using the fabulous Fern 3D embossing folder. All right, here's my little bits that I've already prepared ahead of time. We've got, our base is going to be basic white. Okay. And then I've got it's just cut, by the way, you guys, to our standard North American A2 size, right? So this is 8.5 by 5.5, and we're scored at 4 1/4. Okay. So just standard. Then we've got a layer here that's 4 by 5 1/4. And that is the gray granite that goes with that gorgeous ribbon that we were talking about and comes in the kit. Okay. Yes, the caddy launch is going to be fun, Janet. We're going to have so much fun. Hi, Jennifer. Oh, you didn't miss much. You're okay. You're here. You're going to see the card, so you can just watch the other bit. The Happiness Abounds class is on June the 5th, which is Sunday, June the 5th. And they're both that day. But if you can't make it live, we always have all the replays of all our cards. So you can watch it and create. So you can either create live or create later. Okay, so we're back to basic white. We've got our layer here. And then I've got a bunch of scraps. So I've got some basic white scraps. I've got a Starry Sky scrap, some vellum, and gray granite. Okay, so let's get started on creating. The first thing I wanted to do was on my gray granite piece, I want to emboss it. Okay, I've got my embossing folder, but I only want to emboss it about half of that. I don't want to do the whole front. I just want to give it a nice little focal point here. So I've placed my embossing folder with my paper, and I'm only going to do a bit of it. So I'm going to bring in, normally I don't use my big Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. As you guys know, I like to use my mini because my table accommodates it better. But I want to show you a couple things with this one. And I can't emboss that folder on the mini. So if I'm going to do embossing, here's what I love about our Stampin' Cut and Emboss machines. They tell you what you need. So let me just move this over. So look at this. So here's our base plate. Okay, so it's got a number. And then for depending on what you're going to do, Stampin' Up! Prints right on here. What do you need? So I'm going to be doing an embossing folder. So I've got plate number 1, and then I'm going to need plate number 4. Okay, whoops, down. See, can't quite fit all on here, right? So here we go. Put that in. I'm going to put my folder in. Just get it straight here. That would help. Although I guess ferns don't really matter. They can be a little bit crooked. And we're just going to crank that through. And the other thing that's awesome is look at me cranking this through. One hand. Okay. I have a mat that's a bit slippy, but normally if it was on a table, I'd be okay. And it just goes through so smooth. It's just like butter. Okay. So we can set those pieces aside. And here's my embossed piece. Isn't that great? Look at that beautiful. Now you can use the embossed or the debossed, okay, whichever you prefer. All right, I'm going to move this aside for just a sec, and let's grab some scraps. First one here is just a little scrap, and I want to use one of my favorite dies. I use these all the time. Do you guys love these rectangular stitch dies? I tend to use them all the time. So look at all the ones you get, and then you even get a little bit more on the other side. Okay, so the one that I have chosen is this size here, and let's measure that for you guys so that you're not trying to think, which one did she use? If I'm measuring the outside, and I am going to use the Imperial size, it's 2 3/8 from edge to edge, and almost 3 and almost 3 3/4. Okay, so roughly. So I want to cut that out of that. And then I'm also going to stamp an image on this piece here and cut it out with the coordinating die. So I'm going to be cutting this one out. This is my favorite one. I guess are these, what are they called? You go Genko, Gecko. Gecko is the little animal that's on those commercials, isn't it? So I don't think it's a gecko. All right, we're going to use gray granite because I want to stamp this one twice. So let's get this. I'm just going to stamp it, whoops, in the middle here of my piece, like so. And then I'm going to be cutting this out so you can see how that's going to work. And then I'm going to clean this on my little chamois here. I know this looks disgusting. If you're new to Stampin' Up! And you see this and you go, well, oh my goodness, doesn't she ever wash it? I actually do. I washed it this morning. These images or this ink is way down in the actual pad, so it doesn't transfer to your stamp. It cleans it. It's perfect. Let's use the brand new Starry Sky. I love this stamp, and I like using it with these colors because it really does pop. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? Love that. So let me clean that off before I have that go somewhere on my card, because there's nothing worse, is there, when you guys probably don't do what I do, which is basically I just throw it on my desk and then my card somehow inches over and gets on top of my inked image. I'm sure you guys never do that. All right. So this is going to be cut out with this. And actually, I'm going to just trim this down a bit, you guys, because I want to run through. Oh, hi, Keisha. You must have been out for your walk. Keisha takes beautiful pictures of flowers when she's on her morning walks and posts them to Instagram. And I always like seeing them every morning. I see her new picture. Okay, so that's going to be that. We've got this one's going to be cutting out this. Now, let's cut out some of the little images. So let me move this down. This is our gray granite, and we're going to be cutting out some of these other little bits from, let's do those two out of that. And then I have a piece of vellum, and I'm just going to make it a little bit smaller, and I'm going to cut one of those out from the vellum. So these are our bits that we're going to cut out. So check this out. This is brand new. This is the metallic, the magnetic plate that fits the large cut and emboss machine. There will be one coming for the mini, but until it does, you'll have to get this one. It's fantastic. Let me tell you about it. It's quite heavy. It's completely inside here. You can see the magnet, right? So it's quite a thick magnet, and it covers the entire surface. So you don't have to worry. Remember the old days where you had things and they would go because the magnets were actually situated around and you never knew where the magnets were. And sometimes they would go scurrying off in all these weird directions and like almost jump, right? Okay, I love this. Look at this. And you know me, if you've been watching me for a while, I tend to not want to just run through something on camera because my machine isn't exactly where it would be if I was stamping on my own. But I think I can make this a bit smaller too. I just wanted to do it all in one pass, right? Or if I can anyway. There we go. That's there. That's not moving anywhere. That's not moving anywhere. And we've got our little, make that up a titch. Stick that in there. There, I think we can put them all in. I could have cut it a little bit more, but I don't want to fuss around too much. I'm going to make sure that those are where I want it to be because I'm not right in front of it. So why don't I get right in front of it? That would be better than wasting a die cut. Okay, that looks good. All right, and then all you have to do is put the clear plate on top, and underneath all of this will also be our plate one. Now, heads up, when Stampin' Up! Or whoever, the manufacturer, printed how to sandwich this, they had an extra plate. And so it's plate number 1, plate number 5, your dies with your paper, and plate number 3. Okay, and that will go through beautifully. And here we go. Fantastic. All right. So if you have a Stampin' Cut emboss machine, or if you have another type of die cutting machine that's this size, you can use the magnetic plate. It'll work on other machines too. And when your machine dies, because they all die eventually, like years. But if you've had your other die cut machine for years and it's looking like it might bite the dust, consider getting this large stamp cut emboss machine. It's fantastic. So here's all our little bits. Yeah, I think that's it. Okay. Now, before we're finished, we do one more thing. let me bring in this piece of Starry Sky and let's emboss this one. So for that, we're going to need a few things. We're going to need the white embossing powder. We're going to need some sort of anti-static. If you've got an embossing buddy, that's great. If not, you can use a Swiffer. We're going to need some Versamark ink, which is pigment ink, which means that it stays wet, so you can add that emboss powder. So let's take our little embossing buddy. Let's get all those little fingerprints off. Let's stamp our image, and I chose the hello there from the choices in the stamp set. One of the cards that we're going to be creating at our launch is a fancy fold, and it's a really cool fancy fold, one that you may not have seen before. So I made a card with it. I think you'll like it. Oh my gosh, put that on. There we go. You always want to make sure you put everything away before you grab your heat tool, because sometimes it just goes all over the place and then that's not cool. Hi, Jacqueline. The stamp matches my shirt. Yes, it does. Yes, it does, Jeanette. I think you're right. All right. Okay, there we go. Now, I want to cut this one out too. So let me show you what I'm going to use. Brand new in this catalog is these fabulous dies, stylish shape dies. And this is what they look like. If you guys loved I can't remember the name of them, because when things leave that I love, I tend to forget the name, but it was my favorite, and it was Stitched Shapes. That was it, Stitched Shapes. And we all had we were all kind of mourning it for a while. Anyway, look what came back that's sort of similar. We've got the circles, we've got the squares, and then we've got these fabulous banners. And what's really cool is that you've got this, you've got this nice stitch around it. So love that. So I chose one that would fit this little guy. So let's go back to our magnetic plate. There we go. And we need our clear plate. We need our number one, the sandwich. And I'm just going to run it. It's right here at the corner of my desk, and I'm just going to run that through. You can hear me, but I won't bring it back over there. All right. Grab that. Oop. This magnetic plate works so well. My word is stuck. There we go. Ooh, there we are. Oh, I should tie this too, in case you panic. Let me grab it. Magnetic plate. Don't worry. See how it's leaving marks in here? Don't worry about it. That's normal. And actually, I found that after a little while, it starts to fade in. It's kind of funny. It looks really predominant, and then it fades back in. So but don't worry. It's supposed to be like that. What else are people asking me? Just good mornings. And okay, good. All right. All our bits. Let's get this card made. My favorite glue, as you guys know, is the multi-purpose glue. I'm kind of obsessed with that. What's your favorite glue, you guys? Do you guys have a lot of success with the Stampin' Seal? Now, again, let me double check here. You can do the debossed, which means that you're sort of getting the negative, or the embossed. Okay, I'm going to use the embossed. But what's your favorite glue? Do you guys like this white glue? Do you like, some people like tape, like Terran tape. Some people like the seal. Everybody has a favorite, I think. And this one is mine. All right, I'm going to pop this up with some dimensionals. This is a card that is based on a card that my partner Patsy Wagner did for another stamp set. So I was looking through some of our older PDFs, And she had made a card with this layout, and I thought that would be perfect for sun prints. So sometimes if you go back and look at some, cards that you've made or cards you've received in a swap, or maybe just through our old catalogs, look at the actual layout, because it might just inspire you to use that for your own creations. All right, so I'm going to put this here. Go. All right, so that's us so far. Isn't that nice? I think it's nice. All right, now we've got our hello there, and we've got all these little bits that we cut. I might not use them all, but let's sort of figure out what we want here. Got this piece here. Yeah, I like that. I like the vellum. And I guess we should use all three. And I'll just stick this one here and my vellum piece here. Okay, I think that's good. There, I like that. Now, here's what I do, very scientific. I take a piece of, literally, of Scotch tape, and once I've got these where I kind of want them, I turn it over without moving them and just stick a piece of tape on the back. That just holds them in place. And I want to pop this up, so I'm going to go ahead and just add a bunch of dimensionals. I'm going to add one right on top because that'll also hold it. Right? Hi, Valerie. White glue or dollar store tape run. Shh, don't tell. Okay. Well, I already told, too late. Jacqueline, you like the white glue too? You're one of me. Yeah, it does give you a little bit of time. So Kathy and Jacqueline and Valerie are saying kind of the same thing. What we like about it is it does give you time if you need it to move things. The opposite of that is that once you've got it where you want it, you have to leave it for a minute, not a minute, but you have to leave it so that it glues, okay? Because that's one of the beauties, right? You can move it, but then it moves when you don't want. So just make sure once you've got it there, just give it a nice press. I also like it because it's got two ends. It's got a broad tip and look at the size of that. That reminds me of those old glue that we used to have in school, remember? That yellow stuff. Anyway, Elmer's used to have a tip like that, or you've got the fine tip. And I tend to just use the fine tip. They call it a pen tip. Okay. All right, so we're going to remove our little poppy uppies there, and we're going to put this down here. Well, yeah, about there, I think. That looks good. Now let's add some ribbon. Let's add some of the fabulous gray granite ribbon, which is coming in the kit if you're joining our class. So nice. Okay. And I'm just going to pull this really tight. So I'm just keep making it a little bit smaller and pulling it tight, okay? Just because I don't want it too big and I want it to be as flat as possible. So that looks pretty good. So let's trim this off. You only use the fine tip. Yeah, me too. I find that if I think I had to use the broad tip for something. My fine tip was gummed up. And oh my gosh, I wasn't prepared for how fast it came out. It was like, all right, let's use a glue dot and glue this on. I love my glue dots. Just stick your ribbon to the dot, stick that on. All right. What do we think? That's my card for today. Let me just move all of this out of the way. Oh, good thing you can't see my desk, you guys. You'd be like, oh my gosh, look at the desk. Okay. I'm just going to use a little piece of cardstock to move everything. What do we think? I'm liking it. You liking it? Let me move this down a titch so you can see it a bit. Isn't that gorgeous? The detail in this is absolutely just stunning. I just love it. So we've got it both in the gray granite and the blue. I love it too. Oh, thanks, Janet. Thanks, Valerie. Thanks, Jacqueline. Yeah, so I'm hoping this gives you guys some ideas. So let's review some of the other cards that we've made in the first couple weeks using this. This was our Starburst. That was fun. That was last Sunday. So you guys, if you're just joining me for the first time, or you may have missed some videos, you can find it on YouTube. Stamp Crazy with Allison. That's my YouTube channel. You'll find them all there. But I always put a like a thumbnail cover so you can see what card is going to be in the video. You can also find them if you're on my Facebook page, because they're under the videos on my Facebook page. So this was one we made last Sunday. And then this one we made, I don't remember, on a Thursday night. And this one, again, I've used a lot of the elements and a very similar idea. But this is a hinge card. Hinge. Which is kind of different, right? Kind of a fun fold. Okay. And then we did this one this Thursday. This was good because I was able to show you guys how you can look at the catalog and get pieces from different cards. And that's what I did. And then this was, if you haven't watched the video, I showed how you can get this edge. Let me just hold that up. How you can get this edge. Oop, let me get it in frame. Yeah. With this die, but you're only cutting the edge. So that was a tip. And also this technique, emboss resist, if you've never done that, that's also on that video. Okay. So again, this is today's card. I'll just leave that there for a sec. I think that's all for today. We're a little bit later, but we started a little bit later, so that's okay. There we go. All right, any questions, or did I miss anything? Oh, thanks, Elizabeth. Thanks, you guys. Yes, it does matter what you're using. Let me see, you're listed as a Facebook user on here, so I'm not quite sure who that is, but I'll answer your question. It does depend on what you're being made, what you're making with what glue you make. Because obviously, if you're using, making a 3D item, you'll want a strong tape. You won't probably want the white glue. But it's my go-to, just like Mern was saying. Okay, I think that's it. So I am going to contact you, Donna, just after we get off our live and help you get your catalog. If anyone has any questions, please just leave them in the comments. And if you make a card, I'd love for you to share it. I hope you saw Keisha's, it was Keisha's card, I think. Yeah, wasn't it? I get confused. Some sunlight. She did some sunburst cards and they were adorable. So have a look at that. All right, you guys, my next live will be on Wednesday at 3 p.m. Pacific. If you don't catch me live, you can watch me on record or replay. Yeah, replay. All right, you guys, have a great day. I hope the weather improves for us South BC coast people so we can get out and enjoy a little bit of sun perhaps. Bye for now. Thanks so much.